At Farmers Insurance, we know the sound of a perfect hot air balloon landing. And a less than perfect one. Seen it, covered it. Click for more.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hi, this is Stephanie Hansen, and you are listening to the Makers of Minnesota podcast. And we have a very special opportunity today to talk to a student who is a maker. Actually, we're talking to Harrison Collins, and you are officially not a student anymore. You are a graduate of FIT.
Done. I'm done. Super excited.
Welcome to the program, Harrison.
Thank you.
So you are a friend of a friend, son.
Right.
And I remember her like kind of panicking when you were in high school. She was like, my son, I don't think he's going to go to college. He doesn't know what he wants to do. And you were just this very directed kid that came to your parents and said like, oh, by the way, I think I want to design clothing. And yet you'd never actually designed anything at the time that you told her this.
Exactly.
How old were you when you first were like, wow, this is what I think I want to do?
Well, I was about junior year high school, and I knew that I didn't want to do anything traditional, and I wanted to kind of find my own path. And through that, we just happened to be going to New York on a family vacation in spring break, and I was like, wow, how do I stay here? I want to live here. And
was it the city that attracted you, or was it the idea that you would be making things? Like, did you really think you were going to be a clothing designer? Right.
Yeah. Like the whole lifestyle of it, like just like walking through like on this, like Prince and Mercer and Soho. I was like, how do I live here? Like what is the path to get me here? And, essentially like, I would do projects and, kind of just like figure out kind of how to find my voice as a fashion designer. And that like through doing like tie-dyed hoodies or something like that, like a project that I did in high school. And I visited FIT. It was the only school I applied to, got in, and 2 years later.
Okay, let's just stop there for a second though. So you're in high school and you're going to design these hoodies. And when you were designing them, did you really have it in your mind that like this is the beginning of a career of being a fashion designer, or were you just screwing around?
Not totally screwing around.
Okay.
I don't think the hoodies did well at all. It was just kind of like a project, and I said yes to it. And you never know where those projects lead you. And kind of gave me like a more direct, like a starting point. Gave me a starting point. And from there, I went on and do new projects, and I spent about a year on my portfolio to get me to the position where I can apply for the menswear program at FIT.
And when you, I still don't fully understand, because I'm a super just like linear person. I'm not creative at all. Like, how do you have the guts or the balls or whatever it takes for you to be like a junior in high school and to think, I'm going to apply to FIT? Because I'm sorry, but at this point, I don't think you've sewn anything.
No, I really I had to sew 3 garments for my portfolio, but besides that, I hadn't sewn anything.
How did you learn how to sew?
I don't even think I did it right. So I probably did it completely wrong, but it turned out, I guess. And
did you buy a sewing machine?
I had my mom's home sewing machine. She happened to have a sewing machine, and I bought the patterns from whatever you call it, the store.
Joann's
Fabric? Yeah, I bought a pattern from Joann's, and kind of just figured it out. And then I that's kind of what FIT focuses on is the construction, and you do a lot of sewing at school, and I kind of just fell in love with it, kind of just getting your hands dirty and actually like sewing and creating the garments that you are designing. It's almost seems lost in what I see like now. Like,
okay, so still backing up.
You
teach yourself how to sew with your mom's sewing machine and some pattern you get at Joann Fabrics.
Yeah.
You make a portfolio, and at this point, and just be completely honest, are you kind of crapping your pants thinking that you're really trying to do this?
Yes.
How did you know that college wasn't for you?
I just didn't want to. I didn't want to go to a 4-year school. I didn't want to do that whole party lifestyle. Kind of like I see a lot of it. I wanted to get out of Minnesota. I wanted to see something different. I wanted to live a different lifestyle. I got the taste of it on that spring break.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to come back. like almost like an adrenaline rush. Like I need to go here.
Yeah, like an
And-
energy or
yeah.
a feeling.
Oh, just an energy. And I did a week long class at FIT where it was kind of like I did like just some random class they had over the summer. It was like maybe like a drawing class or something. I was just like, I'm gonna go live in New York for a week, and I was like, yep, this is it. I'm gonna come here.
Okay, so you're working on your portfolio, and the thing that has always struck me about you is like you just do stuff, and your mom and dad are like, yeah, I don't know, he's just doing this stuff. Did you like think that you would really get into FIT when you applied?
It's tough, man, because it's the menswear program there is like 30 kids, and they have 2 years of menswear program, and so like through the entire school there's like 60 menswear kids, and about 10 of them drop off every year. So I didn't even realize how exclusive it was, but they saw something in me, and I think that what really helped me was I had kind of like a point of view, and my point of view kind of translated into something that they recognized. So, I was just so super grateful. And
so I'm digging back into my, what was that fashion show, Project Runway. I'm digging into my Project Runway right here. So a point of view. So how would you describe as you're going into FIT, which we should say it's Fashion Institute of Technology for those people that don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What is your point of view that you're expressing with your clothing when you're getting ready to go to the program?
Right. At the time, I really didn't know. And this is where like FIT like accelerated my learning. It put me in a position where my professors would be like, oh, so we have this huge project and it's due on Tuesday. So it's like you have tonight and tomorrow night to finish it. So like you just have like just through repetition and I was just honestly terrible when I began. So just being bad and being around students, like we had students in our class that were on their second or third education where I'm picking up stuff not only from the professors but from the people that I'm around.
Yeah,
which was super, super helpful, and I'm grateful for just meeting those people there. And I'm finding my point of view through these 2 years, and by the end of it, I feel like I'm ready. I get my inspiration a lot from just like conversations that I'll have, or like I'll kind of like experiences and put them like in a bottle with a lid on it, and then open them up later in my head and kind of go through it that way.
that's kind of a cool way to think about that.
Yeah.
So could you give me an example of something that you bottled up and then later on revisited?
Like maybe a summer experience, like maybe a summer ago I had a friend come out for like a week, and just like showing this person, hey, this is New York, like or
this
like
is the city.
this is the city, or just a conversation that I'll have on the phone with. I have a buddy that I call like twice a week and get on hour phone calls and just talk about what's going on. He lives here still, and I'll get a lot of inspiration from that. Or I went up to a buddy's cabin over the winter break and like got out of the city for like, I had been in the city for maybe a year and a half and came back for Christmas or whatever. And just the drive up there, like an hour and a half drive, looking out the window and having conversations with these friends of mine that were my best friends in high school. And I left and came back a year later, and just that energy kind of like, and bottle that up. And then when I get back to New York, I take the lid off and get that energy again and go from there.
And what did you make out of that energy? Did you make something tangible?
Yeah. So the project that I am essentially done with now is this project I've been working on for about a year. And I'm debuting it at Wilson and Willie's on the 9th. And the ethos behind that was kind of finding this middle ground between a masculine and feminine design. And essentially what that means is like a masculine design appeals to men, generally speaking, and a feminine design appeals to women. And I'm trying to find the through line between the two. And how I do that is I take like a menswear base where everything's made in flat pattern and try and add something that you would see in like a woman's wear garment, like maybe like a sequence trim. I have these basketball shorts where I'm taking the Bulls, like the Chicago Bulls basketball short, and kind of taking that design and putting it maybe a little bit more feminine. And
So you're conscientiously trying to explore the blurred line of,
Exactly.
and it's not, I guess, maybe it's sexuality because you express your femininity or your masculinity really through your sexuality, I guess.
mm-hmm.
But in your generation, we are learning that so much of what potentially is masculine or feminine or even sexual is so fluid.
Exactly.
And is that the lever that you're trying to push?
Exactly. Yeah, that's like the ethos behind everything, and that's where I'm finding my inspiration is through like even figures like maybe like a Frank Ocean or Dennis Rodman. Like they also blurred the line.
Sure.
And I'm kind of like maybe I'm the third of those two. Like I'm like kind of trying to find my position there and push the boundaries and see just how people respond.
And women push the boundaries in fashion and will adopt masculine elements a lot, but we don't see it as much with men in the masculine pushing that feminine lever.
Right.
So that's unique.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it like when you're in your school setting and you're talking to your designer friends, is that something that's well received?
I think so. My professor, like I brought this idea to my professor and he was like, yeah, that's on trend. Like that's something that's a conversation right now. So like it's already like it's there. I could see that in the marketplace right now. And he responded positively to it. And so I just ran with it. I came to him with that idea maybe at the beginning of this year. And I ended up putting a presentation together and then bringing it home over winter break to bring to a mentor of mine, John, at Wilson and Willie's. And he loved it and he gave me the approval and I just ran with it.
Tell me about Wilson and Willie's and why that store in particular appealed to you.
So John Moody, the owner there, is a mentor of mine, and
I should point out that Chuck Moody is his dad, who is the reinvigorator of Faribault Woolen Mills and that company, and they've been so great at bringing that back.
Yes, very successful, and John is forever grateful for what John is doing for me, and he's given me the infrastructure to show something that I've created, and he does this for many other people too. So it's kind of and in the hometown, coming back from New York to show kind of what everything that I learned out there.
So you're having a show Saturday, June 9th from 11 to 7, and you're going to be showing your pieces. Now, you had a show also at Stone Arch Festival last year, which was pretty cool. You had like a lounge created and some pieces. What I don't understand about these shows, Harrison, is do people go there to buy the stuff? Like, what? Help me understand. Like, right now, you seem like an artist and you're making these expressions of art. Where does the line go then into, like, this is a business and I'm manufacturing these garments and you can buy them?
Exactly. So everything there is for sale. Everything that will be there for sale. And I feel the thing that last project that you mentioned.
Yep. The one at Stone Arch.
The one at Stone Arch was a very big learning experience for me because I saw what people responded to. I saw what garment someone picked up. Like there's this jacket that I eventually sold.
It was a really cool jacket.
Yeah, and it was everybody picked it up, and I was like, I need to do more of that. And that was such a great learning experience. And I had a buddy of mine do that with me, Tyler. I think he was the most creative kid in our class, and he came through with a half. Like I came to him with an idea. We both built upon it. We had our both point of views on the idea, and we came together maybe 3 or 4 months later with like 10, 15 garments, and we put it together in the show. Back to your point, where does this become a business is I don't have the infrastructure for a business right now. I don't have any money. I'm a student, just graduated. So these are just garments that I've created for the past year, either in projects or on the weekends by myself. And everything will be for sale. There's only one size of everything. Everything's one of just there's just one of
original,
just one original. I made it. I made the pattern. I sewed it. And
if someone sees something at the show and they want it in a size 12, like would you then make it?
Probably not. Probably
Okay.
not. This is one time kind of thing. Maybe in the next project I'll have more.
So you've been really working hard towards this showcase, this designer event. Now, because this is in some, like I talk to a lot of people that are making things and it kind of goes from they're interested in this hobby and then it becomes a business, and they use places like farmers markets and pop-ups to sort of get a sense, and you've done that
Exactly.
in the Stone Arch example. Now where? Like, do you go and work for, in your perfect world, do you go work for a menswear company? Do you continue on your own and cobble together enough money and resources to get material to actually make stuff to sell?
Yeah.
What do you see as your next step?
So all these projects to me are kind of like a domino effect, where starting from those hoodies in high school that I made that tie-dyed, then knocked over a domino, and then I was like, oh, maybe I want to put together a portfolio to go to New York, and then now I'm eventually here where this is just one of my passion projects that will hopefully lead to like a dream job or more career goals. And right now I'm working part-time at a independent menswear brand, Corridor, and we're still finding my position there, but I'll be doing that part-time. It was a place that I interned at, and Dan gave me the opportunity, and I jumped on it, and we work very well together. So I'll be there part-time. I'll head back to New York next week, and that's where I'll be. Besides that, I'm still opportunity hunting. I haven't exactly nailed down what the next step is as far as going maybe on a corporate route, seeing what that structure is like, or kind of like bootstrapping my own company. It's kind of like I'm at that fork in the road where you either go to a corporate comfortable job or bootstrap something from zero, and I'm very excited, and it's gonna be fun.
Have you thought, like, all right, so parents aside, car payments aside, rent aside, if you could just like pick your journey right now, would you just bootstrap it and do it yourself? I can see that in your eyes when you're talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. The end goal is, well, not even the end goal, but I would love to have my own company and have my own like design house and a design team, and that's kind of what that's the target right now. So, well,
for a kid that taught himself to sew with his mom's sewing machine and some weird Joanne fabric pattern, I feel like, it could be worse.
It's very exciting, and it's all about the process too. So I'm enjoying every step of it.
And how do you, like, I guess if you're going to bootstrap and you have to buy material, like to create a garment, let's say, like how much does it take? Like, is it like, well, these things cost you about $1,000 by the time it's all said and done? Yeah. Is that about the number?
Oh, yeah. It all depends on your quantities as well. And essentially what a designer is just solving problems in a very structured way. So what your job is we need this shirt and we have this much money. Can you make it? Yeah. That's essentially your job as a designer. And the better the designer you are, the better you solve these problems.
I thought it was cool. Something your mom told me that, when you were at college and you were trying to pay your way, that there's these kids that go to Parsons, which is straight design, and they don't know how to sew their stuff. Yeah. And so they would hire you as a sewer. One of the things that I've seen over and over again in this maker world is that there are very few skilled sewers. And a lot of the skilled sewers are people that are taught, and they tend to be potentially immigrant populations. And there's this whole need for manufacturing in the United States. We can talk about it, but unless we have a skilled workforce that can do it, it doesn't really matter. Exactly. I wonder if like that is a way to appeal, and maybe that becomes the business model is you get a sewing group together and you become the sewers, and then that you're thinking about this already?
Oh, you took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, me and a couple of buddies have been thinking about this. We'll probably keep it quiet for now, but
this is a podcast. It might get some people to listen. But...
No, that's absolutely the starting point, is to get talented people that can sew, because these products need to come to life. So it's all about. I personally think that Made in America is something to be prideful about, and the infrastructure is not as large as compared to like China or something like that. Like even though like made in America doesn't necessarily mean it's better. It's kind of like the pride, and that's definitely something that could be built on.
It sort of stands for like a certain amount of ingenuity, right?
Exactly.
Like you think about the old Levi Strauss company, and I don't know, J.W. Hume is a local leather goods manufacturer, and well, there are people that have been on this podcast that have talked about needing sewers, so maybe that is a collective that will get put together.
Yeah.
Thanks for spending time with me today. It's
Thank you
really
for
fun to
having me.
hear what your next steps are, and as you think about how to take this maker passion and turn it into a dream. You know, you've got the education now, and it's just taking that to the next level.
Yeah.
Are there designers you admire?
Yeah, absolutely. A design house that I think is like one of the most successful is Comme des Garçons. I try and just see that everything that they do, and they do it right.
Say it again, Comme des Garçons.
Comme des Garçons, yes.
Okay.
They just kill it, I think. And they had it's an old company. It's been around for a while, but that's definitely, I find, not even just design, but just the way that they run their company, I feel is very successful.
Neat. When you look at, like, do you look at Instagram, and are you social media? Is that like giving you ideas, or are you irritated by the whole thing?
I only have Instagram, and I try and stay off as much as possible. I feel like it's necessary in my industry that you're on the Instagram, seeing what people are doing, seeing what's going out, seeing how people sell things, but it just gives me a headache every time, so I try and stay off of it.
My husband is a writer, and he's trying to get published, and he reads a lot, but he has to be careful about what he reads, because if he reads something in the genre that he's working in, it just sort of clouds his brain, and
Exactly.
he starts to question what are his ideas and what he's read, and does it feel like that?
Yeah, and I just try not to be on it. It's just the feedback loop is only self-serving, and trying. It's just, I feel like the less I'm on it, the better. So.
Yeah.
But
one other question, and then I'll let you get going here. When you look at the world of pop culture, you mentioned like Frank Ocean, you mentioned Dennis Rodman. Are there other people that you think have just an innate sense of style that you admire?
Yeah, I think that all the students that I was around inspire me almost more than anything. Like just the kids in my class alone. I saw trends start there and get picked up from the kids in my class, and I feel like that's kind of like the starting point for everything that's like cool is at the schools and the students that create.
It always kind of has been, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the young people that in the music scene and music and fashion and art and how that kind of all intersects, right?
Yeah.
Do you do other art other than design?
Not really. I think that my designs, like I see myself a designer because essentially I feel like a designer is just a problem solver. So I think I'm really good at solving problems, and all my design needs to work, like it has a purpose, opposed to art, which is you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more of a feeling or an expression.
Like a feeling or expression or emotion. Like the design, like a T-shirt needs to work. It needs to have two armholes and a place to put your head through. Like this, there's a starting point there,
yeah,
you know
and then
I mean?
you're just elaborating
and then
on that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's been very fun to talk to you.
Thank you.
Good luck at the show.
Thank you for having me.
At Farmers Insurance, we know a roof can withstand a lot. One exception being an airborne car. Seen it, covered it. Click for more.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. An F-16 pilot having hydraulic problems with his aircraft managed to parachute to safety as the plane smashed into a warehouse east of Los Angeles. Fire Captain Fernando Herrera.
That pilot landed in the March Air Force Base area, in the base itself.
Amazingly, there were no serious injuries after the plane hit the building. Alabama executed a man last night for his role in killing 4 people after an argument over a pickup truck. Tennessee executed a man who killed his wife. Reporters couldn't see the execution, but AP correspondent Travis Lawler says
we could hear sounds, including singing, that Mr. Johnson's attorney says was him singing a hymn.
Answering a reporter's question, President Trump said he hopes the U.S. is not on a path to war with Iran. Mr. Trump has dismissed suggestions that any of his advisors are trying to push him into a conflict. I'm Rita Foley.